Hi, I'm Jackie. We're going to talk about the track alignment today. There are two parts to the track alignment procedure, the initial or course alignment and the final alignment. Tools needed for the alignment procedure are going to be a 12-pound dead blow hammer. We use the dead blow hammer on the yoke plate so that we do not damage the yoke plate. You're going to need ratchets and sockets for the yoke plate bolts and the adjustment bolt, and a 600 foot-pound torque wrench. For the final alignment, you're going to need paint markers to mark the yoke plate to the yoke arm position, and also an infrared temp gun to measure the inside and outside drive lug temperatures. Let's get started with the course alignment. For the initial track alignment procedure, on tracks with less than 150 hours, condition the tracks according to the operator's manual before starting the procedure. To begin the initial alignment, drive the tractor on a flat, level surface 50 to 100 feet at moderate speed. Depress the inching pedal and coast to a stop with hands off of the steering wheel. Check the drive lug to the idler wheels. If not touching either idler wheel, the initial adjustment is complete. In most cases, the drive lug will be off to one side, like shown here. When found to be touching one idler wheel or the other, adjust as follows. The next step of the course alignment procedure is to loosen all 6 yoke plate bolts. Make sure to loosen them until the washers are also loose.
Use the adjusting bolt to move the tracks inward or outward. To move the tracks inward towards the tractor, adjust the yoke plate to the rear of the tractor. To move the tracks outward, away from the tractor, adjust the yoke plate forward. On this side of the tractor, the tracks are too far away from the tractor, so we need to move the tracks inward. To do that, we will adjust the yoke plate to the rear. We will tighten up 1 full revolution on the adjustment bolt. Do not apply excessive force to the adjusting bolt. If the plate resists movement or does not move equally on both ends, use a dead blow hammer on the plate as required to obtain movement and allow rotation of the adjusting bolt. Now attempt to turn the adjusting bolt again, the 1 full revolution. As you can see, it moves quite easily. Continue to adjust the adjusting bolt until you get a full revolution. If the yoke plate resists movement, strike again as necessary with the dead blow hammer until you get a full revolution of the adjusting bolt.
Tighten all 6 yoke plate bolts, then torque the bolts to the spec listed in the operator's manual.
Repeat the drive, test, and the track alignment procedure until the tracks shift from one side of the lugs to the other. keeping track of the amount of turns on the adjustment bolt. Once complete, you will turn in the opposite direction 1/2 of the revolutions. For example, if it takes 3 turns to shift the tracks from one side to the next, you will turn back 1.5 turns. Once that is complete, the initial track alignment is complete. Drive the tractor in a straight line at moderate speeds. Without steering input, approximately 1/4 mile. Depress the clutch pedal and coast to a stop, then place the shift lever into park. Check the temperature of the inner and outer side of the drive lugs using a infrared heat gun. If there is noticeable temperature difference greater than 10 degrees, adjustment is required.
Mark the current position of the yoke plate to the yoke arm. Do this on both sides. Make several marks along the yoke arm. Next, loosen all of the yoke plate bolts.
Once the yoke plate bolts are loosened, turn the adjusting bolt 1 flat in the direction required. If the plate resists movement or does not move equally on both ends, use the dead blow hammer on the plate as required to obtain movement. Again, turn the adjusting bolt 1 flat in the direction required. Once you've completed the adjustment, check that the yoke plate has moved equally on both ends. After that, tighten the yoke plate bolts.
After the yoke plate bolts have been tightened to the torque spec, drive the tractor on the 1/4 mile track again. Test the temperatures on the inside and the outside of the drive lug. If the temperatures are not within 10 degrees of each other, repeat the final alignment and turn the adjustment bolt 1 flat at a time until the inside and outside lug temperatures are within 10 degrees of each other. Once the tracks on each side of the tractor have successfully completed the final alignment, the track alignment is complete.